In all of Minecraft, there's one block I hate more than any other: mangrove wood. Now, don't get me wrong, I love building with it, but when it comes to gathering it, I mean, who designed these trees? They're so annoying. But I think there's still a way to solve all our problems and even make a super cool build in the process. This is a mangrove farm. It's a complex redstone machine with the one goal of destroying mangrove trees by using all of these TNT dupers up here. It's pretty complex. And I had the great idea of covering this with a giant watchtower to look over our world. If we hop back into the main hardcore world, we have our main city here and this hill right next to it, which would be great for putting this farm and this tower. Not only does it look over the city, it'll also look over our future port city that I'm gonna put down here by the water. This build is just huge though. I think it might just be the biggest single structure I've ever built. So we need to flatten down this hill a little bit more to give us some more space. With this area flattened out now, we can head back to our storage room and actually work on gathering all the resources we need for the farm. We need exactly one chest of resources. That might not sound too bad, but there's quite a bit of different random materials we need. The four main ones that we don't really have are coral, slime blocks, target blocks, and a whole lot of obsidian. But let's just focus on the materials we already have. We need to find a cave near our base in order to gather some redstone, because obviously this takes a lot of redstone components. Here we go. I've somewhat explored this cave before and nearly died, but I guess I'm going back. Jeez. Okay, this might be a little dangerous. For some reason, I still don't have a totem in this world. I'm gonna see if I can make it to 1,000 days, but maybe not. Let me know in the comments if I should stop being an idiot and actually just get a totem. Luckily, down here at the deep slate layer, there's just plenty of redstone. And also skulk. I do not like being around skulk. Hey, diamonds. Diamond, just one. Okay. Back from the cave, let's pillar up all this redstone. This had better be enough. I journeyed out here to the desert. I'm thinking this could be where we find a coral reef, if it's gonna be anywhere. I just need to explore around the edges of this. I think there's an ocean, if I'm not mistaken. Is there a coral reef up there? I think there could be. That looks like the right watercolor. Whoa, check out that terrain in the distance. It's like an amplified world out there. I've got to build something out there someday. That's so cool. And coral reef, what do you know? I spent just a few minutes getting all the coral we needed. We specifically needed the coral fans, which somehow duped the TNT. I don't know how it works. You'll see how it works. Hold on, this is the perfect spot to grab some obsidian if we don't die in the process. We got almost all our resources in both of these barrels except for a couple right here. The one thing we're missing is slime. However, there's some pretty simple slime farms we can build nowadays in a swamp biome, so I think we'll head there and build something like that. And this thing was so easy. It's literally just a hole in the ground at the perfect light level for the slimes to jump into, and it's as simple as that. You just AFK high in the sky and you're done. So that's exactly what I did. With a nice long AFK session done, we can go ahead and take a look at how our farm produced. Oh yeah, check that out. That'll be plenty. We really only need less than a stack. I'll admit this isn't the fastest slime farm I've ever made, but it seems like it did the job. Brought everything up here to the top of the hill. Now we can get building, and of course I'm following the tutorial. There's no way I could ever do anything like this ever. When I flip this trapdoor right here, one of two things is gonna happen. Either all 6 of those TNT are gonna drop down in like a timed manner, or it's gonna blow itself up. Come on. First 2 down. Second 2 down. And all 6! I built it right. It's a miracle. That took so long, oh my gosh. I gathered a ton of bones from our skeleton grinder, so let's throw all of these into the machine. I think we're ready to turn the farm on. Let's hit this lever and see how it goes. Finally being able to run this farm was like the greatest payoff ever. There's still quite a few changes I can make to it in the future, but for now it works great and it actually produces a ton of logs. Man, I love this farm. Look at all of this mangrove wood. This would have taken so so long to mine by hand. It also gives a bunch of these roots and even moss carpet, which is kind of cool. Before we try to build any more farms, I want to start the process of covering this up, which is going to be a big process. The tower is positioned on top of a pile of like boulders. The boulders go up to about there. So we need to grab some stone, some deep slate, some tuff, and get building. I really like the gradient I used on these. It's super simple, but it's also really cool. The boulders are now built up, which looks so cool. And of course, we have a lot more building to do, but I think we need to work on a farm right now. There's a very specific farm I need because I don't have a food source in this world, or at least a good one. Right now, when I want to get food, I have to go to this pumpkin patch and chop down a bunch of pumpkins, which is really tedious and annoying. Then I take those pumpkins and trade it with this villager, which gives me 1 carrot for every 2 pumpkins, which is so inefficient. I think I want to build the same type of farm that I used for my food source last season. A hoglin farm. They produce so much cooked pork chop and they're pretty simple to build. Let's go ahead and make a hole in the roof. Oh, I missed. There we go. Let's see if we can't do this first try. Oh no. Hey, we did it. There we go. And just like that, we are on the nether roof. I'm at the nearest crimson forest, which is a little ways away. We just need to go ahead and build up this hoglin farm real quick because we're down to our last 12 pieces of bread. Oh yeah, check that out. That's a ton of pork chop. It also produces quite a bit of leather as well, which is always nice. I'm so happy we built up this farm. It's super simple, but then again, it's gonna give us food for like forever. I'm probably never gonna need to make a food farm again. But I think for right now, the best thing I can possibly do to work on this is start gathering some of the more difficult blocks. Not difficult, just time consuming. There's a lot of oak, a lot of birch, and a whole lot of sandstone. I figured the best way to get all the wood was be doing some deforesting. So I picked a couple of forests by the water to completely remove. Hopefully this will open up some areas for us to build cities and villages later on. I think we will actually be able to make quite a bit of progress right now because I do have some smooth sandstone already smelted down here, which is pretty nice. We're starting with this gradient as our foundation, which is really going to help with giving it a sense of scale later on, and then moving right along to this spruce and oak ring that goes around the top of it. I also decided to build some of these deck platforms to all the sides, which is going to be super convenient once we get elytras, which we still don't have one for some reason. We've got a long way to go, but it's looking great right now. The biggest problem I'm running into right now is how annoying it is to smelt all of our sandstone. This right here is our only furnace in the entire world. Just these two, and it's really, really slow. So, of course, I have a perfect idea for our next farm. I want to build a super smelter. And instead of trying to cover such an awkward farm in a build, I decided just to dig out a huge cave that we can detail. With the room dug out, we're going to actually try to make it look good now. So let me figure out what pattern we're going to use for the walls. I have an idea. Oh yeah, I think I like that. Let's go with this. To make the ceiling look better, let's actually make it look like a cave. So I'm going to add walls, blocks, stairs, slabs, just to give it a really rough look. This looks great. It almost looks like arches or something, which makes the room look so cool. But for the floor, I think we're actually going to keep with the cave theme and do a dirt floor. Oh yeah, I'm really liking this color scheme, but I think we can make it even better. I want to get some of those glowberry plants to hang from the ceiling. I don't have any right now, but I think we can go and try to find some in a lush cave somewhere and then build a tiny little farm for them. Yeah, this is exactly where I remember it. I think I already pillared down here before to get the rooted dirt, so we can just follow this back down. I think this should lead right to a cave. Here we are. I think we'll build the glowberry farm in this wall right here. It should be relatively simple just to set up a bone meal one. If we put a dispenser up, wrong way, of course. If we put a dispenser facing into it and then 2 observers facing into each other, we just need to retract this observer away somehow. I'm not really smart enough for this. Let's try this. Oh, I'm very dumb. So if we load this dispenser with bone meal, maybe this will work. Hey, there we go. Nice and simple. We can set this thing and let it do its job for a little bit. And then to make this fit in better, we'll also put a little bit of an actual garden of these things and just have them hanging up here. That will work. Let's add a whole lot of these around. It's looking so much better already. And with the room worked out, let's design this super smelter. I'm not going off a tutorial. They're pretty simple. I'm just gonna design my own. I'm super happy with this design. It looks really industrial, which is cool. And there's a rail to get all of the items to smelt across all the hoppers. And then there's a water stream for all the fuel. The thing is, what fuel are we gonna use? I was trying to think. Could do bamboo, could do kelp. Those are pretty big farms though. I eventually decided the best fuel method is going to be carpet duping. I know that's a bit controversial. Some people are very strict against no duplication glitches in their world. But in my opinion, at least, if it's a feature in the vanilla game that I can do in hardcore without any mods, without any cheats, it's completely fair game. I won't be mad if Mojang patches it. It's a bug, it's a glitch. But I'm going to use it for as long as it's available to me. And we'll leave this thing running while we head back over and continue building up the tower. And don't worry, I'll build an entrance here someday. We're just about ready to keep building up the tower, but something we're going to need is glass. So this gives us an opportunity to test out our new super smelter here. I already have all the glass I need, but I want to change the color to cyan. So if we just throw some cactus in here and see if this thing works. Let's give this a test. Hold on, I totally forgot to connect these two hoppers here, but we can just grab it from here for now. And that is not bad. Just like that, we got all the dye we need. So let's head up here and continue building up the tower. Oh yeah, that's a lot of progress right there. We've gotten pretty far, but for some reason I thought it'd be a good idea to use lecterns up here as a railing. I don't know why I did that. They're so expensive. However, this does give us an opportunity to make a brand new farm. Lecterns take bookshelves. However, I don't have any sugarcane at all. I'm pretty sure this over here is the only sugarcane in our entire base. The farm is all set up. I do not have enough sugarcane to fill up the whole thing yet. And I'm sure you know how this works. This observer just detects when the sugarcane gets high enough that it pushes all of these pistons. All we need to do to make sure this works properly is add some ice so the items slide right past between the water streams. And don't worry, we'll build a build around this at some point. I don't want to leave it like that forever. I went ahead and crafted all the lecterns I needed right before adding the second to last part of our tower. Just check this out. This is coming together so well. As one final detail, we need to add a domed roof up here, which is going to require quite a bit of mangrove wood. Luckily, we have a solution for that. And with just a few more minutes of building, the roof was done. And if you're enjoying this kind of video style, make sure you subscribe. I'm only going to be evolving my content throughout the year, so make sure you stick around. As amazing as this looks, a build is only as good as the environment you place it in. And to make the environment fit the build better, we need to do a few different things here. As always, we need a path connecting the build, so I built one winding up the hillside made out of packed mud. I was actually trying to avoid using packed mud this season, but it's just so good, I can't resist. Once we worked that out, I moved on to adding some smaller rocks around the boulders to really tie it into the rest of the terrain, and it's things like that that just make a huge difference. It's small, but it makes a huge difference. And after spamming a whole bunch of bone meal at the ground, the build was officially done. Our world is really starting to take shape. I know I have a whole lot more work to do, but I'm so proud of what we've done so far, and it's safe to say this is my favorite world ever. So thank you so much for watching.